Ladies and gentlemen, it brings me great pleasure to introduce you to a young man who is very important to my life. Someone who you've seen in many pictures on my MySpace page. You've seen him highlighted and spotlighted on my blog spot. He is an incredible person. He and I met 3 years ago in Baltimore, and he's been in my life ever since. He's my personal assistant. He takes care of all of the mundane details of my daily life. When I can't handle certain things and can't take care of certain things, he does a lot of it for me. Without further ado, he's known to the world as SeaJae Mugler, but to me, in the real world, he is Syrai Ocean-VanAdams.
Everybody, my name is Sarai, I'm 21 years old, and I'm young, black, and gay, living in America.
Does your father know that? Does your father know that you're gay?
I mean, he's heard it. I mean, I think he does know, but it was nothing that I never agreed. Like, came out and said I was. Like, he'd asked me, and I told him no, and then he was like, well, if it's true, then I feel like it's my fault because I was never around, and I mean, I don't know, but you really can't blame anybody for the way you are.
So your father has taken on the same idea that a lot of parents do, that they are responsible for their sons turning out gay. You grew up without your father in your household?
Right.
So it was
my mother and my aunt and a group of a whole bunch of girls, my two sisters and my two twin cousins.
So do you somehow think that that has something to do with you being gay?
No, not necessarily.
Do you believe that being gay was a choice that you made, or do you believe that you were born gay?
No, I don't think it was a choice that I made. I've been through things in my lifetime that I will not speak about. But
what do you mean? Why not?
Because it's just really, really, really something that looks like deep, dark secrets. And you don't go down that path, and not today. No.
Okay, but it happened early on in your life?
Yes.
Before your first relationship?
Yes.
How old were you?
I went through, I don't know, probably about 11. I went through a lot, thinking like both the feelings that I had, were they right or were they wrong.
So as early as the 5th grade, you started contemplating?
Probably even before 5th grade, because I remember I was in elementary school when it happened. I know where I was living at in Baltimore. I don't know, I have a very photographic memory, so I think I was probably like, I'm not even sure, probably 4th or 5th grade, probably so. Probably 4th or 5th grade. Yeah, about 4th grade, because I was held back a year because of something, because my mother took me out of school when we had moved to Alaska years ago. So when I came back, like, I had to repeat a grade, but.
So you've lived in Alaska?
I lived in Alaska, and I've always also lived in New York.
But you're
soon to be moving to LA.
But you are definitely from
Baltimore.
From Baltimore, our hometown. How did your family find out what happened?
Okay, so I was on the phone with a friend of mine at the time, and we were talking about something. And he was talking about somebody he was talking to or something like that. And it so happened that my mother was eavesdropping on the phone conversation. I didn't find out until the next day because I had to go to a friend of mine's house, my friend Sean's house at the time. And as we got to his door, she was like, I heard your conversation last night. And instantly I'm like, wow, like, are you serious? And she was like, it was almost as shocking to me as if you was to tell me that if I was to had found out that you had got someone pregnant. And she had said some other things, but it was about 6 years ago. And
what did she hear you talking about?
I don't know. We were talking about Kevin and Kevin's situation. So it wasn't nothing about me, but the fact that I guess that I was talking to him about it, it's weird though that she got shocked about it. And then as time went by, like my grandmother started coming to me asking me questions about it. Like, I don't know, it was a very hard experience. Like the first 2 years, like my mother, she would just make like comments that would hurt me or whatever.
What kinds of things would she say?
I really don't remember. I'm trying to push all that kind of stuff out of my head. Like she tried to tell me how she pictured me as in a relationship with somebody and what position I would be in and all that kind of stuff. And it was just like a wow factor. And my grandmother, she would ask me, well, did you do this with this person? Or like, little Chris, do you like stuff like that? And like, are you serious? I'm like, wow, like this lady is really talking to me about this. Like, it's something that I really want to talk about. But I mean, that's how they found out. And then it was just like word of mouth. One person, she told.
So were you in a relationship at that time?
No, I was not in a relationship at that very moment. It wasn't until about a year later.
Well, wait, did your mother and your grandmother tell the rest of your family that you were gay, or did you have a chance?
My mother, she was emotional about it, so she told my grandmother. My grandmother, having the big mouth that she had, she told my grandmother, her mother, and she told her brother, and whoever else told who. I mean, I don't really know. My mother also told my aunt. And
how did your other family react?
I mean, nobody really said anything until my uncle. He told me that I was destroying the family and I need to cut it out. And I'm like, wow, and it just like hurt me like really, really bad. Like, how could you come to somebody and say something like this?
I hope you read every line.
So how old were you when you first fell in love, or what year was it?
It was 2005.
2005. Let's call your ex, we'll call him Byron.
Why Byron? Just say some random person. I don't know. Why we give names?
All right. Okay.
Next.
All right. Well, what we want to know. There are a lot of guys who have reached out to me, specifically who still have very strong feelings for their ex, even though they've been separated and broken up for years. And when you were with your ex, what types of things, for the most part, did you all do together, or did you do for him that you think leads to the reasons why it's hard to get him out of your system completely?
I mean, to get him out completely, I mean, I don't know. The relationship lasted for like a year and a half, almost 2 years.
And in that period of time, what all went down between the two of you?
Everything you can imagine, from fights to police to, wow, like name calling and trying to sabotage things. I mean, those were just the bad things. But I mean, it was nice being around each other. Like, he would always come to my house and like just try to spend time there. He would do anything that he possibly could to stay around, to not leave. Or like when my mother came around, he would try to hide. It's really crazy. But
do you know in your heart that he loved you?
I mean, at one point I felt as though he did, but to see the things that he do now, it's like, I don't know, like I kind of question it, like, cause like now what he's doing, like he's talking to somebody that I used to date, and he's friends with my friends, like he tried to make friends with my friends, but when we were together, he always didn't want me to have friends, or if I was to talk to one of his friends, it would be like a big deal.
I know you think that I'm too young, but I don't got no what is
The shoot is over and we're leaving the beach. We're leaving Malibu Beach. And tonight we're going to Raw. And we're going to the mansion party here in Los Angeles, California. We're going to the mansion party tonight here in Los Angeles, California. Sarai, Sarai. Say goodbye to the people. Adios. Arrivederci, baby. Arrivederci.
Living in an endless dream, yeah. When we hug and we get stuck and we don't separate unless it starts our day. I wanna be with you.